Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of the SurgeCast. I'm your host, Zach Martin.
I'm the co-host, Bailey Curtis.
And we are presented by Primo X Hockey, Level Up Snacks, and In the Clutch Apparel. And we are powered by the amazing people over at Belly Up Sports. And if you're seeing our faces on the YouTube version, hey, what's going on, everyone? Yes, we are officially kicking off YouTube episodes for the podcast. Bailey, the day is finally here. Season 2 is upon us.
You get to see our beautiful faces.
Oh, man.
We get to reply to comments on YouTube. This is awesome. I feel like this is going to be super interactive thing, and I'm super excited to see where this goes.
I know, it's so crazy. We're both rocking the Aho jersey, so we're matching Ahos today.
Oh yes,
if you're on the YouTube version, but audio versions are still going to come out. But we're actually going to drop them at the same time, actually, so you catch us all your podcast episodes there, and go check out our YouTube, which we'll have a link. And make sure if you are watching on our YouTube version, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, turn the bell on, and then hit all, so that way whenever these episodes drop on YouTube, you get notified that you have a new episode to watch. So make sure to do that. And if we hit 100 subscribers, we might do a giveaway for our YouTube subscribers, and we'll give you all the great details of that once we get to the 100. So that's our first goal. 100 subscribers on YouTube. So I mean,
that's awesome.
What a great goal to have.
Super excited.
Right. So big episode today. Actually, we are going to talk the NHL Draft. A lot of crazy stuff have happened. The Hurricanes were mostly kind of quiet for the most part, but I think a lot of great picks that Don Waddell and the team did. So we're going to go over the NHL Draft. We do have some fan questions. Fan questions are back, everybody. So we had to kick off something a little special for Season 2, just to bring back the fan questions too. I think this is Bailey's second fan questions that you've done, right? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely were the first time, since you were most of the one that was sending in questions. But we got some pretty good ones. I'm kind of excited to go over those, and then it's just a great day to talk hockey, especially after the insane draft we have. But
and the trade.
Yeah. Oh,
that went on yesterday too, which blew up Twitter.
Especially, Kane's Twitter for sure. I got a couple text messages. I got mentioned about it because people know how I feel about a certain player that they got traded yesterday from the Carolina Hurricanes. But we do have to mourn real quick of the fact that Philip Forsberg, which is one of our wish list players, is going back to the Nashville Predators.
Yep.
So unfortunately, unfortunately, we're no longer in the running for Philip Forsberg. But what can you do? So, I mean,
we might have lost Evgeny Malkin too, because I saw something rumored on Twitter that Chris Letang took a serious pay cut so they could re-sign Malkin. So
so it's gonna be very interesting to see. Hey, you know what? There's some Colorado Avalanche players I wouldn't mind having on the Hurricanes, but that's next week's episode when we talk about free agency. So which we're like less than a week away from that too. So it's So I think we're recording next Friday. So this is like right after.
This is like boom kind of content, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, way to kick off Season 2. You got the NHL Draft. Next, we've got the start of free agency. So it's like, all right, buckle up, kids. Let's have a great offseason. This is perfect timing to start a new season for the podcast. But so before we jump into all the draft picks and all that stuff, we have to talk about the trade because this fan base has been very divided about this player and the fact that he left, and now people are still divided about it because some people are okay with this trade, some weren't. If everyone knows me, and probably Bailey the same for you, we're not upset that he's gone.
No.
We're talking about the guy we always just talk about as TDA, but it's Tony DeAngelo because
we call him TA now.
Oh, that's right.
We call him TA now. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad Moore of the Storm Stellar, for calling him TA because he doesn't know how to play D. Heyo. I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, it's not wrong. But,
no.
But yeah, so got some picks out of the trade. So, Bailey, why don't you, if the people who don't know, let the fans know who our receiving package was to get for TTA.
So I just pulled this up so I knew, or I didn't want to mess anything up. So we traded for some people beloved defenseman Tony DeAngelo, and a 2022 7th round draft pick to Philadelphia for a 4th round draft pick in 2022, which we got a decent player out of, and we'll talk about that later. We got a 3rd round pick in 2023, which was the lowest of Philadelphia's 3 picks for that draft year, and a 2nd round choice in 2024.
Not a bad haul if you really think about it. I mean, it's about as not as close, but it's still kind of in the same realm of what Alex DeBrincat just got from Ottawa. But it's like not like a first rounder and a 2nd rounder and a 3rd in like 2 seasons. So it's pour it out for the Blackhawks fans.
Oh my god!
Don't mind this. If you're watching the YouTube version, don't mind this. Don't look behind the curtain.
Yeah. All I'm saying is you guys need to treat Peter Mrazek well.
Yeah, it was very interesting in the fact that Peter Mrazek is also now a Blackhawk too. But it's just it's
after the disrespect he ran into in Toronto. So
multiple times too, because he's been back to Toronto like multiple times, and it's like this dude can catch a break. But very loved down here in Carolina though. So
yeah. I mean, he hasn't been with us for a while, but I
mean,
low-key kind of miss him.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
And I don't know if that's just like my goalie roots or whatever, but
it's definitely the goalie roots for sure. Yeah. We're very pro goalie here, that's for sure. But but yeah, jumping into the draft. So our first pick was until like pick 60, and the fact that this kid that they picked up as their first pick of the draft was just an absolute beauty. So the Hurricanes at 60 got forward Gleb Cherkasov. I'm hoping I'm saying this right. He was one of 4 Russians that we drafted into this draft. That's insane to think about. We have 4 Russians.
Yep.
And the good thing about him is because he came from Omsky Yasterby. I'm hoping I'm saying these right. Probably not. But the thing is, he scored 45 points in 35 games last year for him, for his team.
Yeah.
And I was seeing consensus, like he was like at 48. Some were saying he was like 20, between 20 and 30. So
listen to this. Cherkasov was ranked 15th overall among European skaters by NHL Central Scouting.
I mean, that's for the fact that you're talking about like Finland, Sweden, and a bunch of other countries over there to play really good hockey.
Got him 60th overall.
Yeah, like I said, he was like a consensus 48, with some guys saying is between 20 and 30. You got him at 60. Yeah. Like beyond a point per game player, 45 points in 35 games. I am not too upset about having this kid being a Carolina Hurricane. Like, yes, basically the Russian invasion is coming to Carolina with the fact we got 4 Russians.
And
on
honestly, given everything that's kind of happening with some of the Russian players in the NHL recently, my heart goes out to Kirill Kaprizov.
Oh yeah, that is definitely have to look. If no one knows what's going on, definitely look that up, because that is a crazy situation that's going on. And like denied multiple entries in into different countries.
Denied entry to the United States twice and had to return to Russia, where there's basically a bounty on his head.
Pretty much. So hopefully, thoughts and prayers for him, and hopefully safe travels.
Yeah,
back to the States. But the fact that they get Gleb, I'm just gonna call him Gleb because I don't want to keep.
I love that name. I love it.
I don't want to keep messing up Cherkasov, even though I'm kind of sounding it right. But I'm just gonna call him Gleb just to make it easier for us and the fans. The fact that we got him so where he was at, considering the fact that they ranked him so much higher, I think is an absolute great pick. Waddell at 60, like really fast kid, got good hands, and like I said, over a point per game. He's a goal scorer, so you love to see that in a young kid like that. So to get him at 60, I'm all for this. Honestly, like just an absolute great pick by Waddell and the Canes.
No, and honestly, like he's kind of what you imagine left wing to be. 6'1", 185 pounds. Is that Kelly? Aw. But yeah, with 6'1", 185 pounds, left wing. I mean, he's going to be a presence on the ice.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the fact that for those who don't know, that's Omsk 2. So like that's their their second. I think whatever the minor league team is of Omsk is. It's the
Omsk Krylia.
Yeah. So like that's like their. I forget what the under thing is for the KHL. I think it's like MHL or something like that.
There's the MHL, and he played for Omsky Yastrzębie for the MHL, and then so his time was split between that and the VHL playing for Omsky Krylia.
Yeah. So for pick 60, for those who don't know, that's round 2, pick 28. So it's very interesting how they have like the overall, but then you actually go to the actual round and pick of that. It's completely different too. So so that's round 2, pick 28 for him. But honestly, a great addition. I think.
Oh yeah.
Give him some time depending on if he's still going to be over there in Russia, or maybe they bring him over and play in Norfolk or Chicago. However they want to do that, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how he plays in the system. So for the 71st pick, this one is also just another fantastic pick for the Hurricanes. Alexander Perevalov. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I'm so sorry for people. I am very bad at pronouncing some names. Some names I can actually get. Sometimes Russian names are very hard to pronounce.
Yes.
He was also a point per game player as well last season, and that's when he was playing at Yaroslavl 2. So that's the second team of the actual main team as well. So yeah, 6 foot, 191. Another left winger as well, and that was round 3, pick 6. So I mean, back to back, you're getting left wingers, both points per game guys in like their main club's minor league team for the Russian juniors. But I mean, another great addition, another high, another pick that you would think that the Hurricanes kind of another great steal as well. In round 3. Another guy who like everyone factored higher, but somebody just fell to the Hurricanes.
Yep.
No, can't go wrong with that pick as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so far just a great, first couple picks for the Hurricanes, going left wing for Russians. And then this one was with the 4th pick in the 4th round, this was the one of the Tony DeAngelo picks. They got Simon Forsberg, 41 games in Sweden's top league last year as an 18-year-old.
Forsberg was very impressive to me when I kind of looked into him a little bit. Simone. His name is Simone Forsberg.
Sorry. Okay, Simone. Okay, so not Simon, Simone. I did like the Hurricanes though, where they said Simon Says come to Raleigh. I'm like, okay. I see what you did there. That was very nice. Yeah, so he played for Örebro out of Sweden. The fact that it's the actual, like, not the Russia Junior League, like our first 2 picks were, like, this was the actual, like, top league, 41 games as an 18-year-old. This kid, the defenseman, 6'2", 191. This is at pick 101, round 4, pick 4. I mean, this kid, still on the lighter side, but for the fact that he's 6'2" and is a Swede, and he compares his game to Victor Hedman.
Yeah.
I'm very pro Swede for sure. Yes. The fact that this kid played as an 18-year-old over 40 games in the top league, that really says something about how good you are. And like you said, the video on this kid, when can we get him to Carolina real quick? Because, oh my goodness.
And I will say, given the points he's putting up, and like looking at this, what was it? 5 goals, 22 assists in 23 games with Örebro's HK's under 20 team.
Yeah.
Named league's best defenseman. Just looking at these stats, like he looks like a defensive defenseman to me. But he also he looks like he's pretty versatile on both sides of the ice, which build that up a little bit. And imagine what kind of potential player he becomes in the AHL or the NHL should he come over to the States and get to that point in his career. That would be awesome.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Get him a little bit of a build, make him like, let's say 6'2", maybe push about 200, 205, get a little bit more bulk on this kid. Yeah. And a good 2-way, like you say he's a defensive defenseman, but he doesn't play a 200-foot game. That would be a great addition to a future Hurricanes team. Let's say like 2026, just to give us an extra space to figure out how
Right.
that works out. Maybe sooner, who knows? But I think it'd be a great addition to
Yeah.
a really like deep blue line that the Hurricanes already have. Just
Mhm.
the depth in this organization, adding him, I think it's a great pick for the Hurricanes in round 4. Like you can't be too upset about that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
and
yeah.
looking at him too, ranked 33rd overall among European skaters.
I mean, you get a 33rd and a 15 out of Europe. That's pretty solid for the
That's
Hurricanes.
not bad at
Not
all.
bad at all. Yeah, we'll definitely take that. So I picked 124. The Hurricanes actually selected forward Cruz Lucius out of the U.S. National Development Program, and he is actually committed to the University of Wisconsin, which, if anyone follows college hockey, if you're going to Wisconsin, you're pretty good at playing hockey.
Right.
Yeah. So he also played for the U.S. under 18 team.
The national development team.
Yeah, national development team, and he played on the USA U18 team as well. 6'1", 184. He is a right winger. Pick 124. That's round 4, pick 27. Honestly, like that, I think that's a great pick for the Hurricanes. Like you get a good kid. Like the U.S. development program brings out a lot of great players.
Yeah, they produced a lot of players that were drafted this year.
Oh yeah,
I
think the last 3 drafts, honestly, they've been absolutely.
Let me look at the first round alone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people out of all the 32 first round picks. 6 of them were from the national development team.
Yeah, and the fact that
that's a lot of kids.
Yeah, well, even the last 3 drafts too, you have a bunch of kids from that development program too that also got drafted in the last. I think they're almost pushing 20-something picks in the last 3 years. Like that really tells you how deep that national development program is, and the fact that we got one of their players and how good this kid is supposed to be on the right wing. Where I think we have center depth for days. I think the wings, we do need a little bit more of a depth help on that side. And the fact that you got 2 really good point per game left wingers and you got a national development right winger, that's definitely a good thing, good additions to have on the wings of this Hurricanes team. Depending if all of them make it or some of them make it, I still think that those will be great pickups for the Hurricanes in the future.
Absolutely.
Whenever they do, if they do eventually make it. So I definitely think wings is an area of need for the Hurricanes depth-wise, so I think this is pretty solid. Centers, kind of, sort of. I mean, we do have some good centers as well.
We're kind of loaded up on centers.
Yeah.
At least at the NHL level.
Yeah, well, and the thing, too, is that we have a lot of guys who also can play center that also play wings. We have a lot of versatile guys who can play all 3 forward positions, but they have guys that are kind of just this is your area. I think that's a good thing to have too. You don't want to have too many hybrid players. You kind of want to have guys who are they can play
my
those
specialty.
positions.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So if you can play both sides of the wing, that'd be perfect too. But if you're kind of special for that one side, definitely want to have that in your back pocket.
Definitely.
So I picked 156, another Russian. We got Vladimir Grudinin, defenseman. He played in the CSKA program in Russia, and he did play with the KHL club as well, which is really cool. Which is really amazing. 5'10", 158. That's definitely a little bit on the underside,
on the shorter side and lighter side for a forward.
Defenseman.
Or no, defenseman. My bad.
Yeah,
sorry.
no, you're good. No, you're good. Yeah. So so this was with the CSKA's second team as well, Russia Junior. Like I said, this was round 5, pick 27. It's definitely interesting to see you go that you see a defenseman from Sweden go 6'2", 191, and then you go down to Russian D-man who's 5'10", $158. It's definitely going to be. I'm really curious to see how Vladimir is going to be.
How he develops, yeah.
You're going to see a lot of develop. I think you might see a lot of the Russian players stay over in Russia just as the fact that it's the KHL.
They're going to try to keep them as long as they possibly can.
Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing to have either, because you're not locked, because you're not kind of you're figuring what you're going to do with Norfolk or Chicago, where it's you're trying to fit these guys into those teams. if you could, it's possible. It's just, I guess it all really depends on what the Hurricanes want to do, because you really don't want to send these kids to play on the coast where it's fights galore, and it's basically like 90s hockey still kind of reigns rule down there in the East Coast League. So like, and you really don't want to throw them in the AHL either, because that's a lot of like 20-plus-year-old guys and a lot of vets who are still trying to get back to the NHL, or still like in their 30s and 40s. So it's like, I think Russia is probably the best place. So it's curious to see how that's going to work out. But I mean,
and they produce a lot of great hockey players. So, I mean, a lot of them do kind of have that experience in the KHL. It's not the worst place to develop. I mean, you see our guy Pyotr Kochetkov.
Oh yeah,
and how he developed playing in the KHL. Now here at the AHL level, potentially could see him in the NHL level here in the next year or two.
Oh, for sure.
So,
height wise, you might hope for a growth spurt. I'm not really sure how much you're going to get out of that at this point. You might get lucky.
18 years old. I can't imagine it's going to happen.
You might maybe push 6 foot, maybe at best.
If that.
But you could definitely bulk up the 158. If you get him to like in around the 170 range, you're probably talking a light defenseman with foot speed and great stick handling. I wouldn't be upset if he became like an offensive defenseman that could still play a 200-foot game, but still be able to, play more a finesse defense rather than, throwing the body around type stuff. So,
right.
I mean, you can't have all body throwers. Like, you do need guys who can pass the puck, be a little more finesse and
like almost a playmaking kind of defenseman.
Exactly.
And that's almost what I envision him to be, just given his size and given the amount of points that he's putting up. I haven't gone back and watched a video review of him, which I need to go and do that for all of our draft picks, just to kind of get an idea and maybe consult Kane's prospects on Twitter and see what kind of information he can get me. But he seems like a playmaking kind of defenseman, because when you're putting up 2 goals, 11 assists in 18 games, 1 goal, 2 assists in 12 games, like you're going to see him as probably a secondary type of defensive playmaker.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because like, you think playmaker, you think, oh, he's racking up assists, and that's not really the case with him.
Yeah. He's definitely more of a second, like setting up a play type stuff. The stuff that's not really gonna be on the score sheet where you're like, oh, he's like got 80 points a season. No, it's more of like, you're talking about 30 to 40 point range, but this guy plays solid defense and does the little things that won't show up on the score sheet. So like, people who actually watch games will notice type stuff.
Right.
This kid. So I'm excited for him. It's definitely interesting to see what he's gonna do for that point. So the Hurricanes' second to last pick at 171, which was round 6, pick 10. We got a tendy, everybody. We got Jacob Vondros. I'm really hoping I said that right, because it looks like Jacob. So I'm going to go with Jacob Vondros. He's a goalie out of the Czech Republic.
I've seen Jacob spelled like that. So
yeah, out of the Czech Republic, 6'3", 180, and this kid played for a Plzeň Junior last year in the Czech Republic Junior League. 6'3", 180. Oh my absolute goodness.
.915 save percentage, 1 shutout in 11 appearances. Like that's not bad at all.
No, he's a right-handed catching netminder. Like you said, the goals against average and the save percentage, I'm not gonna be upset about it. And the fact that this kid is 6'3", $180. Give him some time to get a little bit of a mass on that. Think of it like a 6'3", 195 Czech goalie. Oh my absolute goodness.
Yeah.
And the fact that he catches right-handed too. So that's going to be very, very.
I was going to say, right-handed netminders are kind of hard to come by lately, aren't they?
Yeah, when I played goalie just for fun, for like street hockey and stuff, I always caught with my right hand. No, sorry. Caught with my left hand. Yeah. So caught left-handed, but yeah, even right-handed too. Like, that's a very hard thing to see. You don't really see a whole lot of right-handed like catching goalies. So the fact that they got him in the 6th round, and he's already 6'3", like,
I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Just add to the plethora of the depth at goalie that the Hurricanes are gonna have for the next forever. So I mean, keep him in the Czech. The Czech Republic League is a really good league too. Like, there are no slouches over there in the Czech.
Absolutely.
Keep him there, or depending if they want to do something to Russia. I would honestly send him to Sweden or Finland. Send him to one of those two leagues. Wouldn't be a bad time to see him over there. Or just keep him in the Czech Republic's league too.
Listen to this as well. The Czechian native was rated 10th overall among European goaltenders.
Wow,
10th overall.
There you go. The Hurricane, and Don Waddell even said it too. Give him a lot of props to the
scouting
team. It just an absolute amazing job that the scouts did. It's just absolutely fantastic. And then the last pick, the final scheduled pick, the Walt Ruff. But shout out to Walt Ruff for his absolute amazing coverage for the draft this year.
Well done, my friend.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we're reading off is from Walt Ruff's tweets. So,
I'm reading off of his news article that he posted, and he did a great job with that. Not only covering and getting a bunch of the information on the guys, but he's also got the scheduled picks that we traded away to both Chicago and Philly.
Yeah, just an absolutely fantastic job. I mean, he just knocked it out of the water in terms of, covering the team and doing all the picks and stuff like that. So the last pick, and this is the fourth Russian of the draft, got defenseman Alexander Pelevin, which he is a 6'1", 183-pound defenseman. This was picked 205 in the draft, 7th round, 12th pick, and he played for Nizhny
Novgorod.
Thank you. Out of the Russian junior as well. Honestly, another big, a sense of theme in our defensemen. We got 6'2", 6'1". Even the forwards, 6'1".
We've got tall defensemen that have a lot of room to grow when it comes to their weight.
Yeah, even the forwards. Our forwards are 6'1", 6 foot, 6'1". Our goalie is 6'3". So the Hurricanes got size.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the funny part is they might have, him and Pierre Kochetkov might have played at least one game together last season because they both play for the same KHL club as well.
Okay.
So that's definitely another interesting little caveat. The fact that this kid might have played with Pierre Kochetkov at one point last year for about maybe a game or two with the KHL club. But like you said, another great size, another great room to grow.
8 points in 29 regular season games. He also kind of reminds me of who was it? The Vladimir Grudinin.
Yeah.
In the sense of his style and play. Yeah.
So honestly, I think Damado did a really great job. And so what was that last? I think it was a trade with the Hawks. What was a
so Carolina traded the 220th overall pick to the Philadelphia Flyers along with Tony DeAngelo.
Oh no, to the Blackhawks.
Oh, the Blackhawks, yeah. So they traded the 188th overall pick.
Okay.
In exchange for a 6th round pick in the 2023 NHL draft.
Yeah, so it was just a swap for the same round, basically, or close to it. So I mean, overall, we have a poll going right now. I'm not going to look at this percentages yet, but that should come out later tonight. But very interesting, the wider range of people saying how this draft was. I see a lot more A's and B's. For the people who are saying DNF, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why you're thinking it's a DNF for this draft. I thought the Hurricanes did a phenomenal job. They got a lot of guys who were supposed to be a lot higher, just worked out to the Hurricanes' favor. And like you said, top 15, 15th in European, 33rd in European skaters, top 10 in goalies for Europe. And you got range, you got size. You got the first 2 picks were guys who were getting points per games on the junior teams.
Yeah.
For the Russian clubs that they were with. That's no small feat to have when you're 18 and you're over a point per game in those type of leagues. Even the junior leagues are still really tough in Russia too. So it's
and honestly, given the pick situation that we were in, I feel the shout out to our freaking scouting team because they did an absolutely wonderful job scouting these guys, and it like we were kind of talking about, got away with some really good steals.
Oh, for sure. So the first 2 picks are absolute steals, and then you get a top 10 goalie where he was at. And like that, the stats.
I mean, top 10 among the Europeans.
Right. Well, but still, though, I mean, that's still no small.
That's still,
feat.
yeah.
So and like you said, the goals against average and like the save percentage are also just absolutely amazing. So honestly, I think Don Waddell did a really great job. Like, the Hurricanes didn't, go absolutely nuclear like some other teams did, where you're seeing like, Alexander Romanov leaving the Canadiens, and then like their pick gets flipped for Kirby Doc or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, you're seeing
Montreal giving away the opportunity to get Shane Wright. Which, did you see the stare down that he gave the Canadiens table? I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, the fact that you also had New Jersey passed on him for a defenseman, and you had the Coyotes also passed on him. I'm like, watch him like fall to like Columbus at number 6. I know Columbus.
Good for the Seattle Kraken. Good for Ron Francis and picking him out. So
yeah, I mean, if you're not getting, like, I bet you Seattle thought, oh, there's no way we're gonna get Shane Wright at 4, and they're like, surprise, we got him at 4. It's like, okay, it's like now you get this kid. But I mean, even then, like, how about Slovakia though, going 1-2?
Yeah,
like have a draft night Slovakia, just having their first, like, getting 2 picks, go back to back.
Good for them, yeah. But that's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, though, I mean, I thought the Hurricanes had it was a pretty quiet first night. Nothing really happened. And then day 2, it was, just, making picks and moving along and stuff like that. And, outside of the TDA trade, which I know a lot of people are still kind of, split on and like, oh, we like this game. Like, yeah, he put up some points and stuff like that. But there was a lot of times, too, where it's like he kind of had meltdowns, and it's just. Defense lapses were not great either. Like, yeah,
that's the biggest conversation that I was having with people, and there were like some small arguments. And I feel like argument is a strong word, but we had some
discussions.
Yeah, we had some strong discussions about it, and I was like, I'm not mad about it, and they were like, but how are we going to get an offensive defenseman back? I would rather, and this is a point that I kind of put together in my head after the TA thing.
Yeah.
Like I would rather somebody who knows how to play defense and doesn't have a great defenseman picking up his mistakes than I would an offensive defenseman. Maybe that's just me, but like and don't get me wrong, I feel like maybe Tony DeAngelo and Jacob Slavin really complemented each other on the ice, but at the same time, like, I mean, one of them's going out and scoring goals and helping on that quarterbacking front for one of the power play units, and the other one has really great defense, shuts down Connor McDavid type players. But
it doesn't get mentioned, but
right. But at the same time, too, Tony DeAngelo had a really interesting back check. I was not super impressed by it. My English teacher, shout out to Mr. Shaner, and I kind of had a little conversation about it too, because I posted something about it, and he was like, honestly, to be honest, I wasn't that impressed with him. And I was like, thank you. Like, it's not just me, but like where I will die on this hill. I would rather somebody who doesn't make as many defensive mistakes as I would an offensive defenseman. Now, given that, I would not mind a Klingberg, because I know we've been linked to Klingberg. He's very expensive.
He very is.
The cap space that we have to fill.
I would even say if the Hurricanes made the package worth moving, I wouldn't be upset if we try to go after Jacob Chickern out of Arizona. That'd be another great addition as well. I mean,
but is he an offensive defenseman like everybody else wants, though? Or I don't have a super good eye on Chychrun.
He's definitely, I guess when you say offensive defenseman, a lot of people would say it can be up for interpretation, but I mean, I think he's a pretty solid guy to have. I mean, you don't want a full-on offensively minded defenseman who it's like you're asking.
Because look what we got out of Tony DeAngelo.
Yeah, like now you see going after Zach Werenski out of Columbus. Sure, that guy can put up points, but you're also talking about Cale Makar and Roman Josi and all that. Yep. Like those guys aren't hard to come. Those guys are kind of hard to come by.
You can't like they take time to ferment.
Yeah, Yeah, like, and I think a lot of people are so focused on offensive defensemen, like, oh, he puts up points, and he does all this. It's like everyone wants a Kel McCarr or a guy like Roman Yossi or Victor Hedman, guy or Zach Werenski who put up just points, and more points.
Mm-hmm.
You would want to have that, but the thing is, like, their main focus is playing defense. They're a defenseman.
Like they are a
reason.
defenseman. And this I thought was very interesting too, because forget who it was from Philly was talking about how they want to put TDA in as least defensive situations as possible. And Kat Hunter posted something. She was like, but his title is literally defenseman. Do you want him to not do his job?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that kind of where, yeah, I will give him credit. Yeah, he put up points. He kind of did okay on the power play. Our power play needs a lot of help. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
but
that's not saying much.
No, but it's a very understatement thing to say. But for me, it's like I would rather have a guy who, yes, can put up points on the as a defenseman, but also, like you said, also be
back check and be a defenseman.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So it's like I'd rather have like Klingberg. Sure, he might be too much. I would say even go after Jacob Chicker. And of course, we'll go over this next week with more of our wish list of free agency because free agency starts next week, and then we'll see. So we'll have like like our 5 guys that we want to go after in free agency. So we'll have like a top 5 list that we can do for like a mix of different positions or separate positions in general, or just whatever the two. But I'd rather go through free agency if need be, but also to think about this, and I said this a lot yesterday. We have guys in Chicago that can play as good and play a 2-way game and still put up points because Jalen Chatfield played amazing with the Hurricanes last year.
Absolutely.
Joey Keane had a freaking playoff run in the season last year for the Wolves as well. I wouldn't mind seeing Joey Keane up at some point with the Hurricanes as well.
I tell this to as many people as I can. Joey Keane was one of my favorite people to watch last preseason.
Yeah, very under the radar guy if people weren't really watching him because of the fact how good he was. And it's just like, I mean, how can you not be enjoyed to have those two? And also, let's talk forwards real quick. Jack Drury up with the team. I mean,
Jamison Reese.
I could definitely see like a Drury, Chatfield, Keane next year. Either a combination of the 3 or all 3 with the team next year. Because Don Waddell even said it too, and that's because he was talking about TDA and Nino and Tro. You want to be able to keep these guys who are 29, 30 years old, but if they're looking for 6-7 year deals, that's not something the Hurricanes want to do. And that's and a lot of people say, oh, the Hurricanes are cheap. They want to go after one. I'm like, okay, they got to be smart about that. That's why they're not cheap when it comes to the Aho, Svechnikov, Kotkaniemi deals.
Because they're young guys.
Exactly. Young guys that they know get developed to be really good players or already are really good players that are going to be superstars and stuff like that. But I think it's a very smart thing for the Hurricanes is like, yeah, I love not TDA. Gosh.
No, we don't.
No. I might hear some people might give me crap for that Freudian slip. But do I love Nino and Tro? Absolutely. Do I want him to stay? Absolutely. But it's got to be for the right price. And if they're looking for 6-7 year deals, not at 29 or 30, because how are you going to be when you're 36, 37, which in hockey terms, you're getting pretty much over the hill at that point or already over it. So it's like, if they were going to stay for 3 to 5 years, I might kick the tires on that being a possibility, but
I could see maybe as high as 5 years.
Yeah,
for those guys.
And that's still kind of pushing because you're still talking, you're
34,
like 34, 35. So it's still getting too close to that range, but it's still enough where it's like, okay, we can still take a chance on it. But anything past 5, you're really getting into some dangerous territory, and that's where I'm kind of okay with bringing them some guys up from Chicago and going towards the draft.
Yep.
Is TDA's young guy? Yes. And people are like, wow, we can't sign him to a 2-year, $5 million contract. And it's like, was it 5 years per, or was it $5 million per, or was it 2.5 per for TDA's deal?
For TDA, he's getting $5 million, and it's a 2-year contract.
5. Was it per or was it just total?
I think it's per, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that what did I say? He was gonna ask for too much.
He chased the bag, and I mean, good for him. Go get it.
Yeah,
but
and the fact that too is like he even posted somewhere because someone shared it, like he grew up as a Philadelphia Flyers fan and stuff like that.
But did he? Because there was something that was also circulating around that was saying that Philly was his least favorite NHL team.
If that was actually him posting it, I think it's maybe because we was already with the Rangers and stuff. Man, those
yeah.
I don't know, but I mean either because isn't he from Philly?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
If it's not New Jersey,
I know it's somewhere there.
New Jersey.
Shows you how much we really cared about where the heck this guy was from. But
whoops, I mean, I'm actually curious about that.
Well, the thing is, though, that's what I'm saying. Though, like 2 years, $5 million per. That's a pretty tough angle to have. Where it's like
Yeah, he's from New Jersey.
Okay, so I'm saying like so the fact of, and people are like, oh, well, the Hurricanes are cheap. They can't get him for a 5-year. I'm like.
We can't afford 5 years when we have
5 million. I'm not 5
or
years,
5 million. We can't afford 5 million when it comes to when you think about all the other guys that we have to sign. And honestly, and this is that was kind of in the heated or strong discussions that I was having with other people yesterday too. Is honestly, I would love to see Jalen Chatfield, maybe Joey Keane, maybe Jack Drury come up. And somebody was like, "Well, you can't just fill the entire roster with AHL guys. That's imagine what you gonna what do you think that's gonna do?" I think it's gonna do well for us.
Well,
like I mean, there's so many people who are up in a tizzy about, oh, we lost Tony DeAngelo. We're going back into a cup drought. We're not gonna win the cup. Our cup chances have dissipated. We're gonna suck next year. What?
TDA wasn't the main factor of making this team good.
No, I mean honestly. So perfect example. Jacob Slavin got COVID. Look at how we did during that window.
Yeah, we had like about 5 or 6 guys out. We had like 6 or 7 Wolves up with the team. Mm-hmm. Still won games. Pretty.
Jacob Slavin was out and we sucked. So just go to look at what Jacob Slavin, like if you're looking at a guy who's a factor for this team, Tony DeAngelo was not it. Because we did really well when Jalen Chatfield came and played in his place.
Yeah, that
for those games he was.
Yeah,
injured.
And that's what I'm saying too. Like nothing against TDA as the player. Like he did well. He did the stuff that he needed to do. Was he quiet? Yes, because of the fact they told him, "Hey, you're gonna come down here. You're gonna have to toe the line because this is what the culture we have here." But at the same time, I'm just like, I'm not upset that he's gone. What I've been upset if he stayed. I would have gotten over it and did what I did last year, and we just talked about everyone else but him, unless something crazy happened. But I'm not like, oh no, he's gone. It's like, okay, it happened for a season. He wanted more than because even Don Waddell says like we were never close to term.
Yeah.
So that tells you like the Hurricanes gave him $1 million last year, and they probably want to give him 2, maybe 2.5. He's like, no, I want 5.
Yeah.
You don't give a guy who played for one season a 2-year, $5 million deal per. You're like, well, the Hurricanes are so cheap.
No, it's just we just have bigger priorities.
Yeah, we still have a lot. We have a lot of holes we got to fill still too. So it's like, and plus free agency's coming up, and there's still a possible trades where we could make some splash moves. Tony DeAngelo is not a splash guy I want to go for because I mean, heck, we're still figuring out what's going on with Ethan Bear because he's also an RFA, and you're still trying to figure out what you want to do with Nino and Tro if they want to come back.
Which please re-sign Ethan Bear. I would love to see a Bear Slavin line.
That would be a fantastic line to have. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely gonna be interesting, but I mean, overall, like, what were your thoughts going back to the draft? Like, what were your initial thoughts? When it came to the draft, how the Hurricanes did, and just all the moves that Don Waddell made over the last couple days.
On the little poll that you posted on the SurgeCast page, I meant to give it an A and my finger slipped and I looked away and gave it a B accidentally.
How dare you?
I honestly, like, I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, 4 out of the 7 guys that we drafted were Russians, so maybe I'm a little partial to that. and a little proud of that because I've seen what they can do in a system when developed properly.
Right.
I mean, we all have. Look at how Andrei Svechnikov turned out. Look at how Pyotr Kochetkov turned out.
And
Other guys in the league have seen. I mean, look at Alexander Ovechkin. Look at Kirill Kaprizov. Look at all these other Russian guys who are absolutely killing it.
And talking about Kochetkov, give him a full season next year. I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah.
We saw a small sample size. Give him a full year next year in Chicago. Oh my absolute goodness. I'm really excited to see how
with guys like Alex Lyon, Etu Makaniemi. Obviously their goalie coach is doing something right over there.
That's gonna be a 3-headed monster in Chicago. And like, are we talking about running it back in Chicago? So the update on the poll real quick. So after 31 votes with 7 hours left, 39% said A, 32% said B, 13% said C, and the 16 people that said D or F. Either you're haters or you're just really upset that Tony DeAngelo left, and it's okay. 16. I'm really surprised we got 16% D or F. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, honestly, too, like for what we got out of the draft pick that we got for Tony DeAngelo and Simone Forsmark, I think it was.
Yeah. I think it was a good one. Honestly,
that was kind of a steal, and honestly, like I said, give these guys some time to develop, some time to grow into themselves, some time to kind of chill in the weight room for a little bit, put a little more meat on their bones, and they're going to become like really hefty presences on the ice.
Oh, for sure. And the fact that too, like even with the 2 forwards we got on the left side, both from Russia, and then the fact we got that right winger too, like I think we're going to be okay.
Yep.
Like would you say A is a bit of a stretch? Maybe.
Honestly, no. Given the draft positions that we were in and getting the guys that we got,
yeah,
I don't know how you can give it anything but an A or a B.
That's what I'm saying. Like I could hear the argument for a B. If it's not an A, I can hear the argument for being at a B. Anything lower than a B, it's kind of like I don't know where you're kind of like looking at this as a bad draft. Even C is really like it was.
That's
like
a little bit of a stretch.
Well, the thing is like C is the least voted option. D or F, I think it's just people just being a bunch of haters, or they're upset because it's TDA is no longer a Hurricane. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So before we go into fan questions, before we wrap up the episode, we're actually going to take a quick break real quick here to give some love to our amazing sponsors, Primal X Hockey, Level Up Snacks, and In the Clutch Apparel. So when we come back, we'll do some fan questions and we'll wrap up our first episode of season 2 here at the SurgeCast. We'll be right back here after our amazing sponsors. Hey everyone, we'll get back to the rest of the episode. I just want to take a quick minute to talk about our amazing sponsors of the podcast, Primal X Hockey, Level Up Snacks, and In the Clutch Apparel. First sponsor we have to talk about, it has to be the original OG from the day one sponsor, and that is Primal X Hockey. If you're looking for anything from stick tape to stick protectors, outdoor pucks, anything you can think of, you name it, they have it from indoor to outdoor with amazing apparel as well. You gotta check out the guys from Primal X Hockey. Really great group over there. Been to the warehouse, really, really nice. Cannot speak highly enough of these guys. The great thing too is they're based in Raleigh. So if you're in the Raleigh area, look at the pickup from the actual warehouse. They can do that. If you're also looking to get your stuff shipped, they also do that as well for free shipping all across the United States. And the best part is, I got a discount code for you guys. So if you go to primalxhockey.com and use the code SurgeCast, in all caps, you get 20% off your order. Like I said, you cannot find a better group in terms of just having great hockey equipment and even apparel. We got hats, we got koozies, we got t-shirts, hoodies, all that great stuff. So make sure to go to primalxhockey.com, use the code SurgeCast, so you get 20% off your order. And like I said, you can either do pickup at the warehouse or you can get it shipped. That is how amazing these guys are, and it's fast. So why not go check out Primal X Hockey, where you get all your great hockey equipment, and you can support the podcast and support them, because shop local, support local. Next sponsor I want to talk about is Level Up Snacks. If you're looking to take your gaming to the next level, make sure to check those guys out, because they have really great, amazing drinks. They got watermelon, they got green apple. I'm a big watermelon guy, but I don't know, that green apple tasted really good. It gives you like good focus, 0 calories. Why not enjoy some great hydration while you're playing those games to take your game to the next level with these guys at Level Up Snacks? And the cool thing too is they got snacks coming soon and they got fast delivery. So why not join the Level Up fam? Go to levelupsnacks.com, and if you use the code SurgeCast, that's right, another SurgeCast code, you get 10% off your order. Just go to levelupsnacks.com, use the code SurgeCast to get 10% off your order with some really great quality drinks and snacks coming soon as well. The last sponsor I want to talk about is In the Clutch. If you go to intheclutch.com, where they have amazing MLBPA, MLSPA, NCAA, and vintage sports designs on all 100% licensed products. Like I said, really great, amazing stuff. They even got hockey on there too. So if you're looking for, a Cincinnati Sting, or if you want to look for Mighty Ducks, Cincinnati Mighty Ducks t-shirts, they even got the New England Whalers t-shirt. Anything you think of for hockey, they got them over there. Plus, amazing on the courts as well. And the cool thing too is, we even got some merch over there as well within the clutch. If you go to their hockey section, look at the SurgeCast, we got a t-shirt and we got a hoodie. And another great thing too is, we got another discount code in there as well. If you use code SURGE, you get 10% off your order within the clutch. Really great group over there. I cannot highly recommend them. Their products are amazing. Definitely check them out. So remember to go to intheclutch.com and use the code SURGE to get 10% off your order. So big, massive props to Prime Wax Hockey, Level Up Snacks, and intheclutch.com for being able to help support the podcast. And like I said, if you guys use SurgeCast at PrimeWaxHockey.com, you get 20% off. Use SurgeCast at Level Up Snacks for 10% off. And if you use Surge at intheclutch.com, that's another 10% off. So why not help support the podcast by also helping out the sponsors as well? Now, without further ado, let's send it back to the rest of the episode. And we are back. So, yes, thank you to all of our amazing sponsors. The one sponsor we do to talk about real quick, it's also the Belly Up sponsor for the entire network, and that's with Canadips. If you're looking for something to help you out, get through the day-to-days, whether it be, body pains or, just help your mental health a little bit, make sure to check out Canadips at CanadipsCBD.com. And if you use the code BELLYUP20, you will get 20% off your order at the store. I just got their summer pack of watermelon, pina colada, and their mango. And I'm telling you right now, pina colada and watermelon are now my two favorite flavors out of Canadips. They are absolutely amazing. I could not highly recommend them enough. So definitely have to check them out. If you don't want to use the code at checkout, just do CanadipsCBD.com/BellyUp20. They'll add the code as well. But if you just be able to use that code BellyUp20 in the actual website or the checkout, you will get 20% off your order. I would very highly recommend those guys. They're absolutely amazing. Like I said, that summer pack, so worth it. So good. So yeah, definitely have to check them out. So fan questions are back, and we got some good ones.
Okay.
So the first one is from the Storm Cellar. With TA gone, who fills the void on the top pair? And just the fact that people were like, who's TA? And the fact they came back with,
it's Tony D'Angelo, but he can't play D.
Brad Moore, you're an absolute legend.
Shout out to you, Brad.
Yeah, Brad, we got to get you on for season, because he was actually the first guest on episode 1 of the podcast. So definitely got to bring him back for season 2. But we kind of talked about it a little bit. I would say I would love to have Ethan Bear back, but if we had to pick someone, I wouldn't be upset if we get Pesci back with him. But he does play well with Brady Shea.
He does.
I would say, if anything, why don't we have a Jalen Chatfield, Jacob Slavin top pair? Or depends on who we get out of free agency. So I mean, I would say non-free agency, I stay Jalen Chatfield. If free agency, I'm curious to see how that plays out. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, you nailed it on the head. I mean, like I said, we already kind of talked about it. I personally think that, yes, having an offensive defenseman or finding somebody who can play an offensive role as a D-man to play with Jacob Slavin would be amazing. But the caveat is they need to be able to play defense because Slavin, when he's with a capable defenseman back there and not cleaning up other his pairs or mistakes,
Yeah.
would it like that kind of like Jacob Slavin at that level is a Norris level or what a Norris should be level Jacob Slavin.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
So
and that's probably why he got so many more penalty minutes this year because he had to clean up Tony DeAngelo's nonsense. And that's why he got 10 instead of 2.
yeah. So, I mean, you look at that. I mean, I would love to find a guy who can play an offensive role, which would definitely help on the power play.
For sure.
In addition,
Yeah.
Because Pesci quarterbacking, because I imagine with Tony DeAngelo gone, if we don't get a guy like Klingberg, Chikrin, I imagine that Brett Pesci is going to be stepping up into that role. But honestly, Brett Pesci is not my favorite guy for the position.
I would say maybe Brady Shea. Brady Shea can actually do some pretty solid stuff on as a power play quarterbacking type guy. It's Joey Keane though. I wouldn't mind a Joey.
I would love to see a Joey Keane type of power play quarterbacking.
Because if anyone watched Chicago, their power play unit was absolutely like a.
We need their power play. We need whatever they're drinking down or up there in Chicago to help our power play.
Yeah, like just give me whatever mojo you have out there in Chicago and bring it to Carolina. The power play unit is going to be absolutely disgustingly good. So
it's a pretty light answer.
Yeah, I like I said, once we get into our wish list for next week's episode, we'll definitely we might circle back to that as a possible. Hey, so we kind of talked about it last week. We got a little bit more of an idea what we think might help. So
it's just hard to say right now, given we have no idea whether or not Bear's coming back. We have no idea what's happening with Brendan Smith. Because I feel like he's kind of fallen off the face of the earth after postseason ended.
Don't forget, we also have Jake Gardner.
Jake Gardner is going to be there too. Oh my gosh, yeah. So there's a lot of options, and it's hard just because we never know what Rod Brind'Amour is up to. So what
Don Waddell too. So I mean,
Don Waddell either. So like what we could be predicting could be completely on the other side of the spectrum once free agency happens. I mean, we were all convinced. I was this close. I was like, I was millimeters away from buying a Dougie Hamilton jersey because I was so convinced that he was staying, and look what happened.
Yeah.
So
Sebastian Aho, Jacob Slavin's in the closet.
Yep.
Seth Jarvis is going to be a jersey that's going to be purchased really soon. Obviously,
we were talking about jerseys before we hit record, and I think I'm between Svechnikov, Slavin, and Jarvis now. I don't know how Jarvis slipped my mind. I don't know how that can happen.
Here's to figure it out for you. Slavo for the reverse retro, Seth Jarvis for the Stadium Series jersey,
and then Svech is an alternate.
Yeah, because the alternates are back on the website. Yeah.
So I need one of each. I'm yes.
Yeah, because I got the alternate already with Slavo for my birthday. Shout out to my folks, and then Christmas. That was a Christmas present. This Aho was for my birthday. I definitely want to get a white jersey. Gotta figure who I want to put on it, and then it's like who do I want to get for the reverse retro and the Stadium Series. So that's going to be an interesting to figure how to figure that out at some point. But thank you, Brad Moore, for the amazing question. We will actually. I'm going to star this question. We're going to circle back to it next week. Executive decision. We're circling back to this question next week.
Yes.
Once we get our free agent wish list set up for next episode. Eric, coming out of the skies with the question.
We appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah. So since the Durham Bulls had a Canes jersey last year, how would you guys feel if the Canes made a Bulls jersey for a theme night? Keep up the great work. Well, obviously, first, thank you for the amazing words. We really are going to try to get great content. Obviously, season 2, you're watching us now, so you get to actually interact with us a little bit more in terms of videos. So it's definitely curious to see it. But big shout out first though. Bailey's actually the one's going to be taking care of all the YouTube stuff. So all the amazing stuff you see, it's all because of her, because I have zero idea how to do video stuff. So
we'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
We got it.
I got the audio. She's got the video. We'll be all right.
We got it.
But I wouldn't mind a Durham Bulls jersey theme night. I mean,
No, and I mean, we don't it's not like we have an MLB team to get as excited about as maybe the Avalanche do with the Rockies and something like that. So, and I mean, I honestly, the Durham Bulls admin on Twitter seems awesome.
Yeah.
And that's probably very representative of the team. So,
well, think about this too, though. You could have a Durham Bulls theme night because you have the Durham Bulls baseball team and you also have the movie as well. So you could have a Durham Bulls movie theme night.
Yeah,
and
that's
incorporate the team as well. Obviously, for warm up jerseys and stuff like that, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, you have the Durham Bulls kind of be there as well, and kind of a cool little thing they have going on. So I wouldn't be upset. I mean, heck, let's do like the college triangle theme night too. Do like UNC, Duke, and NC State. Have them either all together on the same night. They also
have college rush tickets, and that's the collaboration with the colleges nearby.
So I think do a theme night, still do that as well. But I mean, I would say honestly though, I'd be kind of excited for a North Carolina Courage, like the Carolina Courage.
Oh, do the North Carolina FC or the Courage? Yeah.
Yeah, have the women, the National Women's Soccer League team there, and then have like the US one team be there as well. So I'd be kind of cool to have the Courage there as well. Do something like that as well.
See, I feel like this is really terrible, and this just goes to show how much I know about baseball. I kind of forgot the Durham Bulls existed for a sec. And sorry. So when I was in elementary school, they used to give us vouchers for the Mudcats. And
yes,
we used to do like they'd have 3 different games on those vouchers. You could get 4 tickets to each of those games. My parents and I used to go to games all the time because not only did I get one, but my brother got one as well. So we got to go to at least 2 games a year. And when I was in, I want to say it was like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I actually sang the national anthem for the Mudcats, which I was very proud of at that
That's really cool
moment. I have no idea where the video is, but there's a video somewhere.
Nice.
But yeah, so I've always kind of been more of a fan of the Mudcats, even though they're kind of lower on the scale than the Bulls are.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I mean, I have seen a little bit of the Bulls. Not a big baseball person, to be completely honest, but what I have seen of them, I mean, they're pretty interactive on Twitter anyway.
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, Yeah, the the Twitter account's pretty cool. Like the stadium is nice. I've been to one Bulls game. For me, if I'm talking about like northern, like the northeast of North Carolina in terms of like minor league teams to watch, I'm more of a Mudcats fan than the Bulls because I actually do follow the Mudcats on Twitter, not the Bulls.
Love it.
Because I mean I like the movie. I think the movie is like my favorite, one of my top 3 favorite baseball movies of all time. Maybe top 5 sports movies. In terms of the team, they're fun to watch. Like I said, I like the stadium, but if I'm talking a minor league team in the Carolinas that I'll follow, that I actually care about, it's the Mudcats for me.
Right.
So my allegiance is more so to the Mudcats. Yeah. So you know what though? If it's not Durham Bulls night, Mudcats night.
Yeah,
I would definitely go.
Somebody in the area of the Mudcats, please let us know on Twitter if they still do those vouchers. I'm very curious.
Yeah, and plus with the Mudcats too, the colors. I mean, the colors are amazing. Can't go wrong. Yeah, I mean, I have red and black Adidas's that I can wear. I can wear a Mudcats, shirt, wear my Hurricanes hat. Just decked out in black and red. Who says no to that? So, I mean, so, hey, Carolina Mudcats, if you want to do something with the podcast, just let us know too.
Let us know. Yep.
Let us know. So, I mean, we can do a little something with the Mudcats, but I think a Bulls night or a Mudcats night or both, I think it'd be kind of cool to do that too. So, Eric, thank you for your question. We do have a name suggestions. We're going to save that for last, but our last question comes from a former guest, great friend of the show, Stat Guy JJ. Joel James with the question.
What's up, JJ?
JJ? Or was it High Danger Chances JJ?
High Danger Chances.
Hit him with the High Danger Chances. 3 moves you want to see during the offseason / free agency, and 3 moves you do not want to see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 3 moves I want to see. That I want to see. Either bring back Nina or Trocheck. Both would be
Yep.
great. If not, at least one of them.
I hope we
I
can
I
include
I
that in one of those 3.
I do like Nino, but I feel like Tro might be. I feel like I would like Tro a little bit more back
See, and I
if
feel
I
like
had to
that's
choose.
kind of flipped given what you've said, like in the last few episodes of season 1. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very back and forth. Like some weeks I'm like I want Nino back. Some weeks I want Tro back. I mean,
Like you said, both would
you
be great.
yeah. As you mentioned it now, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, Nino is a little bit of a better option because we definitely need like more guys on the wings.
Mhm.
So I think you kind of like you're like, hey, remember what you said? And it's like, oh, you know what, you might be right.
This is why I said that. Yep, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, depending on the week, it varies, but I would definitely love to see Nino back. If we had to get one of them.
Yeah,
Another option, I would say, if we go into free agency and get some guys, I would definitely want to get someone that could play a really good, solid 200-foot game on defense,
on the
and can
blue
still,
line, yep.
yeah, and still add some offense to it as well, depending on who it is. Like I said, we'll drop actual names for next week's wish list episode for free agency, and then I would
Jumping the
say,
gun, JJ, come on.
yeah, come on, come on. A third one that I would want to see. You know what? Give me a Seth Jarvis contract extension.
Yep.
I know he's on his
Okay.
I know he's on his ELC, but you know what? Give me a
Let's go
little bit
ahead
of a
and make
give me
that set that in stone. Yep.
give me a little bit of a contract extension, or if it's not Seth Jones, Sebastian Aho gets a contract
Seth
extension. I would love to see
Jones.
that. Or Seth Jarvis.
You're in
Oh my!
Blackhawks mode, bud.
It's been a day already. It's been a week for me. Like it was 100. It was like 105 yesterday. I stayed up until like 2 o'clock this morning, so I'm kind of out of it, or 1 o'clock, whatever.
So if
Seth
not Seth
Jarvis.
Jarvis, it's Sebastian Aho.
Yeah, because Sebastian Aho's coming kind of pretty close to his contract being over, and I would like to see a little bit of an extension out of him.
Yeah.
So
Like
three,
we can't do what we're doing with Nino and Tro with Sebastian Aho.
yeah. So before I get to my 3 that I don't want, what's the 3 that you would want to happen?
So you got 2 of them.
Okay.
Personally, I would rather see Nino back than
Right.
Tro. So I would love to see a Nino extension.
You
Though I don't think
convinced me. You convinced me to go back on the Nino train, so it's all right.
yeah. So I think I've got to go Nino. Though I don't think it's gonna happen given he's
Yeah.
shopping free agency.
So is Tro, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So.
so is Tro, but I'd out of the 2 of them, I'd rather see Nino come back. We have to find a blue liner, or in my opinion, find somebody who can actually play the blue line with discipline.
Yeah.
Find somebody who is disciplined on the back check, and maybe even as a cherry on top bonus, find somebody who can put on an offensive presence.
Right.
My third, see, I don't know. See, part of me kind of wants to piggyback off of your thing, but I don't want to do that. You kind of you make a good point with Seth Jarvis. You know, I don't know. I might have to put a pin in that one until next week.
Marty Nietzsche is still kind of available.
Marty Nietzsche. Oh, there we go. Marty Nietzsche. Let's figure out some way. Like honestly, so here's my caveat with Marty Nietzsche. Let's find a way to help him improve on what he kind of sucked at, to put it bluntly, last season, because he has a great potential with his stick handling. We've seen what we can do and what he can do with his stick handling. He's a very graceful player most of the time.
Fast as heck too. Like he's got some wheels.
Yes, fast as hell. And we've seen what he's capable of.
Oh,
like,
we
know his capability. Help him develop that and build that up a little bit more, because he's what, 23?
20. I want the Martin Necas from the Sharks NASCAR day game where he absolutely sniped that sucker on that goal after the Andrei Svechnikov pirouette. I want to
give me that shorty that he had with Aho, like the back and forth shorty.
And this is the thing that I've been saying. You've seen me say this multiple times in group chats on Twitter. Martin Necas is 23. I do not want to give up on this kid. I know a lot of people are kind of like, he's our worst player. We need to get rid of him, blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
he's not our worst player, though.
He's 23. Like, and the thing
people
is,
have off seasons in their career.
Yeah, and it was a weird season for him and pretty much a lot of guys on the team, too. My thing is, though, like, we cannot afford to lose any more forwards.
Mm-hmm.
We only got 14 contracts.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like, well, you can ship him to Vancouver for JT Miller for a season. You can send him somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, but I don't want to trade a guy that we can sign back on a 1 or 2 year bridge deal as a prove it deal for a decent, like a good amount of, like say maybe like what, $1.5 million, maybe 2 per, but it's a 1 or 2 year bridge prove it deal. I'd rather have that to where he's 25 when he leaves instead of being, let's get rid of him now at 23. And go get our 1 year rental. And Don Waddell says he's not a rental. Like the Hurricanes aren't a rental team.
Nope.
And Don Waddell said this. We do not want to go and blow up the future for a rental. And I don't think trading him to Vancouver for JT Miller is the move. I'm going to die on, like you said, you die on this hill. I'm going to die on the hill. I want Martin Necas for at least 2 more seasons and give him a proper development and give him a bridge prove it. If he can't figure it out by 25, then okay, we can figure out something else down the road. But at 23, give me 2 more years of Martin Necas and see where we're at.
Yeah. And I mean, I will say I was one of those people that's kind of iffy on Martin Necas. And that's why I kind of added that caveat on that third. I want to keep him.
Right.
I want to keep a kid who I've seen what he can do. We've all seen what he can do and what he's capable of. I want to see that capable kid come back.
Yeah. And I do too. And like I said,
I love how I'm saying kid, though he's 2 years older than me. So, but we're not going to talk about that.
like I'm not looking at looking at him through rose-colored glasses. Like, yes, I can understand that. Like, yeah, he's got some improvement. Everyone does. Like, no one's perfect. No one's like this guy's a flawless player. But I would rather still hang on to a kid and give him a couple more seasons to figure it out because the rest of this team is young too. Like I want to see him develop with everyone else and give him a chance. Like I don't want to give up on guys too early because then you're running into issues with teams who are older because we need guys who are ready now at like upper 20s, low 30s. Like no, I want to see him get development, see him get a chance. So I'm okay with waiting out a little bit of extra time, so I don't know. I want to give Martin Necas at least 2 more seasons,
right,
to figure it out. All right, so the 3 things we do not want to see.
We already saw one of them, so guys we want to see stay. Is that what we? So guys we don't want to see stay. We've already seen one of them kind of come to fruition.
Oh no, 3 moves you don't want to see happen.
Oh, want to see.
Don't want to see. I don't want to see. Oh jeez.
So I feel like for me, and I can go first if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
So kind of doubling on my want to see. I don't like I said, kind of getting into Martin Necas again. Don't want to see him go.
Yeah, I don't want to see him. That was my. I didn't want to go back on that. I don't want to double up on that, but I'm kind of agreeing with you on that same thing. That's my number one thing too. Is like I don't want to see him go. So I think we're both on the same page with that. It's like I don't want to see Martin Necas leave. Here's my second. I don't want to see Ethan Bear leave.
Okay. That's fair. I'm going to go kind of a different route. I don't want to see Claude Giroux as a Carolina Hurricane.
Yeah, I got into a discussion on Thursday about that with a lot of people going like, he played really well with Florida and he didn't really disappear. And I'm like, I brought up this point with somebody. I'm sure Claude Giroux is a fantastic player. I've seen a little bit of his play. I don't want his cup luck in Carolina.
And
he's going to want too much money. He's going to want too much money.
Right, and I don't think I know that we need to make a splash on a player. I don't want him to be
he's not the splash I want.
Mm-mm.
You know who my splashes are, and they're both in Colorado.
Yep. Love to see a Burakovsky.
Or Nitrushkin.
Yeah,
so
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Nichushkin's a done deal in Carolina, or not in Colorado. My bad, sorry.
He probably is.
Yeah, so I think he's a done deal in Colorado. I think
Andre Burakovsky though. Oh, I wouldn't be upset with an Andre Burakovsky in Carolina. Imagine him on the top 6. Oh my goodness!
Just fix that wide shot. That's all I'm saying. Fix that wide shot and he's gold.
I mean, when your head coach is Rod Brindamore, I mean, you know.
Yep. So, he's got some great talent to collaborate with and look up to as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not that he doesn't in Colorado.
Him and Andre together. Oh, Svech and Berkey. Oh
yes. Absolutely, give it all to me, please.
Imagine a Svech Berkey line together and have like Aho in the middle and put I don't know.
And to be honest,
Seth Jarvis and Turbo together.
Mm-hmm.
That would be disgusting.
So he's 27 years old. So he's kind of nearing around Nino and Tro a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and then we look at Claude.
I know he's in his 30s.
Yeah, so 34 years. I would rather,
if we're going after someone, I don't
want Claude.
Oh, I'm still thinking about Berkey on the Hurricanes. Gosh, that would be my absolute goodness. I was even a Berkey KK Seth Jarvis second line behind the Sat line. Oh. Yeah. My word.
See, yeah, but we could talk about that all day. I think I'd prefer Aho, Teravainen, and Jarvis.
That works too. I mean,
it's a great line.
Hey, you know what that means then? A Svech Berkey line.
Yep.
With KK.
Yep. Oh yes. Oh yes.
All right, we got to save the free agency stuff for next week. But I'm just saying that I would not be upset. So yeah. Claude Giroux, not here for it. I understand that he's respected. He was loyal to the Flyers, but they didn't want him around. It's a conflicting story because I've heard he wanted out.
Right.
And then he said he wanted to stay, but Philly didn't want him back next season. So I've seen conflicted stories on this. So, and like I said, no, my takes are great. So, I mean.
So, my third thing, I've heard some very minuscule rumors around the rumor mill that one of our goalies could go. I do not want to trade our goalies. I want to keep our tandem.
Yeah, at least for one more season.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want them to leave before their contracts are finished.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I'm kind of piggybacking off a little bit with you. I don't want to lose both goalies.
No. We've had too many seasons where, I mean, just look at what happened last season. We traded away all 3 of our goalies, had to start fresh. I feel like that's been a running thing with Carolina goalies always are a part of our free agency.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to continue this year.
I think the Hurricanes are still trying to not fall into the Scott Darling issue that they had a few years back where they traded for him. And nothing against Scott Darling, but he also he really got dealt to a really mediocre Hurricanes team back then.
He didn't have much help.
No, and I think that kind of really ruined him for where it was because he did play really well in Chicago, but I think coming onto a bad Hurricanes team at that point didn't really help him. And I think the Hurricanes are still kind of hesitant on trying to go for goalies because our best goalie that we've had, Freddie Anderson has been our best goalie since Cam Ward.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, it's
easily.
I love Pierre Mrazek. I love
James Reimer.
Yeah, those guys are great. It's just if we have to lose a goalie, so be it. I don't want to lose 2. I don't care if it's either this season or the off season next year. It almost
I have a hard time believing they're going to re-sign both of them.
It's going to be one of them. And I've heard some people say, I want Andy Beach come back. Ronta, with his translation to beach, but I like Antti Ronta, but it's like
I'd keep Anderson over Ronta.
yeah,
Much love to Ronta.
I love Rance, but he's a little bit older, and I feel like, and we saw how Freddie played last year before he got hurt against Colorado. The dude was he was going for a Vezina season. He was absolutely lights out.
That's still a snub. I'm not letting.
He got hurt in the second to last week of the season. He got hurt the second to last week of the season.
That's a snub if I ever saw one.
You could still put him as a finalist, even though he missed the last week of the season. It's like that's kind of a little bit of a much, but I would say I would hate either this season or next season. I would hate to see the Hurricanes not keep both. At least keep one.
Right.
So but
yeah.
So JJ, thank you for your amazing question. We're gonna definitely have to circle back to that as well.
That's another one we're putting a pin in.
Yeah. So the last one is not a question, but it's actually a name suggestion for the fans of the podcast.
Okay.
This is from Home Ice Advantage, Canes Home Ice on Twitter. So Surge's, the Belly Gang, Storm Watchers, or Hunters, i.e. Storm Hunters. Not sure if any of the ideas are good, but they're what I came up with. So
I mean, you're the only one that's sent in suggestions so far, so we appreciate it.
Yeah. Storm Watchers, I thought Storm Watchers is pretty interesting.
I like Storm Watchers.
Hunters, but I think we have to go Storm Hunters just because of that, or Surge Trackers.
The Surge Trackers would be nice.
Yeah. Surge's.
That gives an interesting ring to it.
Yeah, I would say Surge Trackers or Surge Hunters.
Or the Surgers.
The Surgers could work too, or the Surge Hunters. Yeah. Yeah. So we're still gonna play around with a little bit. We're gonna actually get more. I think we're gonna have like a solid just a post by itself on the Twitter of drop name suggestions below. We'll take like the best 4 and like put it into a poll and see what people think. But
maybe we try to do like a small giveaway to whoever.
Whoever's one gets picked.
Yeah.
We send a little thing. We could do that. That'd be kind of cool.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe send like a hat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do that probably this week, probably like Monday or so. We'll probably Tuesday. We'll drop it on Tuesday, have it run through next Saturday, and drop suggestions. Whichever one gets picked will be you'll maybe one of the giveaways. We'll figure something out behind the scenes, and we'll let you guys know on Tuesday what we plan on for that. But definitely some good suggestions out of that one.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely some to keep in mind.
Oh, for sure, definitely for sure. But yeah. So thank you to everyone who sent in the fan questions. Our first fan questions of season 2. So thank you to everyone who did that. And if you've stayed to the end of the episode, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We're really excited for season 2. Like I said, we're doing giveaways this year. Obviously, we got one maybe coming up soon. If we ever get to 500 followers on Twitter, we're at 447. So we're actually pretty close, 448 actually. So we're pretty close to our 500 follower giveaway. So that's going to be another cool one as well. And then maybe we might do some other ones later this year as well. And then, just a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe for the SurgeCast. Hopefully some more amazing guests this year. And now we got the YouTube videos as well. So a lot of things coming up Millhouse for the SurgeCast. So
super exciting.
But Bailey, like first episode of season 2. Your first officially official, air quote, officially official podcast. And
I made it into the intro, guys. Yes.
Into the intro. Oh my goodness. But our first YouTube video, like, how are the vibes right now? I mean, I'm excited.
I'm living.
I'm excited for season 2. Give me all the good vibes right now.
Like just based on how this episode's gone. Like it's there's a lot of exciting things in the works that we've got. Super excited to see what happens with them. Yeah, for sure. So, but this was a lot of fun. So we are going to wrap up the episode now, but thank you to our amazing sponsors, Primex Hockey, Level Up Snacks, and in the Clutch. If you look down here, if you're on the YouTube version, the bottom left side of the screen, those are all of our amazing sponsors. Make sure to go check them out. We'll drop some links in the descriptions of their websites, all the codes that you can throw down to get some really great discounts. And just check out their websites and all that good stuff too.
We will put Canada Dip's website in there as well. So it's not really a show sponsor, but they're more of a belly up sponsor. We're definitely going to highlight them too, to give them some love. And then, over on the bottom left corner of the screen, you see Belly Up Media. Make sure to check out Belly Up Sports, or a lot of great stuff for them as well. We got all types of sports. We got fantasy as well. So definitely check them out. We also have Beyond Women's Sports, which is our women's sister website that does a lot of women's sports. Make sure to check them out as well. But before we go, Bailey, where can people find you on the socials?
So where I am most active, go find me on Twitter at Bailey Curtis, and that's Bailey with 2 Y's. I'm not as active on Instagram, but I'm trying to get there. At Bailey Lynn Curtis. I also run the Belly Up Hockey page with my lovely co-host here. So go check out at Belly Up Hockey for all of your content, whether it's NHL, AHL, PHF, anything along those lines. We've got a lot of content set up for you guys.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. We're going to do a lot of trivia. We're going to do a lot of guess this player. Maybe like
got some cool content in the works. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I got some polls, name this player, stuff like that. So we got a lot of cool stuff. You can catch me at One True Zach. That's Only True Zach on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Zach R Martin 22. I'm kind of active on there, kind of mainly for like posting like stories and stuff like that, kind of cool videos like reels and stuff. Other than that, not a whole lot of posting. But if you catch me on Twitter at One True Zach, you see a lot more of my takes on hockey, a bunch of other sports as well, but mainly hockey. So if you want to, don't DM me, just at me, because it'll be a lot more fun for, to have everyone kind of interact with stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you want to check out the podcast, we are at the SurgeCast on Twitter. We do have a link tree in our bio, and that's where you can check out all of our amazing sponsors. You can also check out Belly Up Sports as well. And if you want to click on the YouTube link, we'll drop a YouTube link on there as well. But a lot of the YouTube links for all of our episodes will be with the actual, when we initially tweet out the actual episodes every week. So make sure to check out that YouTube link. So yeah, make sure to go check out our YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, hit all, so that way when we drop an episode, you'll get a notification that we'll have our new episode out. So we might have do some we also might do some really cool YouTube videos, not just like podcast episodes, but maybe like ranking systems, like favorite jerseys, favorite logos.
Oh yeah,
hockey movies. So we might do a little bit more outside of podcast video exclusive episodes as well. So if you want to check out some of that stuff, we might have some really cool video YouTube exclusive stuff as well outside of the audio version of the podcast. But Bailey, I think it's time for us to say goodbye to our amazing fans and wrap up episode 1 of season 2.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, thank you for watching and tuning in as always.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, so much. And until next time, for episode 2 of season 2, I'm Zach. I'm
Bailey.
We'll see you here next time at the SurgeCast.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Media production. Some said we'd go belly up, so we made it our name. And we're still here.